So, related plants, they can be kind of hard to figure out to the untrained eye. I mean, look at these Oenothera guara and Oenothera biennis, two native wildflowers. Now, you see, this one's huge. I believe they're three parted, four parted, something like that. And you look at these, and these are, I don't know, look like dirt. Look like dirt particles, essentially. Now, I mean, that's you know, you're not seeing the whole plant, but these plants don't even look all that related to the untrained eye. So I have a microscope, and we're going to kind of look at these under a microscope, because obviously you can see these. Pretty straightforward. Can put those back. But yeah, we'll pull a couple of these out of here and look at them under a microscope. Oh, and also, if you're wondering what they are, Oenothera biennis is the common evening primrose, so those big white flowers that you see open up at nighttime. And Oenothera guara, it's kind of like paintbrush, kind of. It's not a common one. Pink bee blossom, I think it's called. Don't worry about it, it's a common name. Doesn't make any sense. Take the lid of one of these, pinch some seeds out of this one, the Oenothera biennis. Just a couple. Okay, I got one in there, so I'll turn this off, get this under there. I'm gonna put the 25x into there. So that's what we got. You see the seed in there. Take our lens. I really gotta figure out how to use this better. Could you not do that, cat? Okay, I'm gonna take a peek through there. I really gotta wipe these lenses down. So first thing, we'll look at our Oenothera guara. Yes, it sits there. It's a four-parted fruit. Seed, not a fruit. Used to talking about the fruits. That's actually quite hairy, which is interesting. I wonder what benefit that has. We'll put that away. Then we can take a look in our microscope here. And look at that. It's a four-parted fruit. It's sitting flat. This is actually not a great looking one. I'll kind of move it around, see what it looks like on the others. Look at that one. Oh, like a box. With some maybe very fine, hairy looking structures on it. Almost crystalline. It's interesting. Move it around a little more. Now this one's really very interesting. Hard to hold still for this. Need to set it up a little better, but yeah, look at that. Still kind of getting that four-parted fruit. This is a really big one. There's a lot of variability, it seems like. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at entirely. So I don't know what that's about. You can see them there too. So I kind of shuffled them all into a group here. You can see they're very angular. Definitely seem pretty four-parted. They all have that very like fine crystalline structure on them. Now my phone camera is trying to fight this lens for some reason. Not really meant for this. I have one that is. I don't know where it is. Little handheld one. Yeah, that's very interesting to look at under a microscope. These are just so very angular. It definitely seems like there's some sort of fine trichomes on there, just like with the guara. But the guara is actually visible to the naked eye. So it's interesting. Yeah, look at that. Huh. Oh, something I think would be interesting would be to look at two different species in the same genus. So that is what we just did. But ones that grow relatively very differently and look very different. So Lamium purpureum, That's purple dead nettle and Lamium implexical, which is henbit. So right away, visually, this is implexical. Pretty dark, dark gray, brown, and purpureum. A little bit lighter, just a little bit though. So that's actually what I have loaded up into the microscope. Lamium purpureum, and we can take a little look at that. Now immediately you can see it's actually a three-parted fruit. Fruit? I said fruit again. Seed. So three-parted seed. There's the upper ridge, middle, and the side ridges here. Not sure what's going on down there with the white stuff. I don't know what that would be about, what that actually is. I'm also not particularly sure where the initial rooting occurs. Probably at the base of that. It's actually a very interesting thing to look at. Let's look at bottom lighting. Probably not too interesting. That white stuff is semi-transparent. Sides of the seed aren't or anything. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll kind of pile them up, see what they look like all together. Here's all of them together. Some plant material. Pretty interesting to look at. Not a whole lot going on. But yeah, still interesting. I want to see if the other ones have that white stuff at the base of the seed. Kinda. Actually, it looks to be like a connection point or something. Right off of the bat, on the purpureum, very much not as obvious a three-parted seed. Though I do think they are still distinctly three-parted. And you can kind of see a little bit of that kind of white stuff going on there. The connection point of all those parts. Right there being a pretty good example of that. Hard to get a good look at. Now I'm wondering what the actual function of that is, because I bet there is one. I don't know if that's to allow water infiltration or if the seed actually grows from there. It could just be that that's the connection point within the ovary. I'm sure somebody knows. But I've never actually looked at seeds this closely. It's very interesting. So here's them piled up, and you get a much better look at that three-partedness. Definitely a lot smoother. Seems to be the main difference. There's plant material in this. Very speckled. I wonder why they're speckled. Were the other ones speckled? Definitely not like this. It's very interesting. I'll move it around a little more. See what there is to see. Kind of what I thought. The speckling really only seems to be prevalent on two of the sides and not three. These are much more conical in shape. Conical? It's another difference I'm noticing. They almost look wet, but they're not. No, it's probably just because they're healthy seeds, but man, that is really cool to look at. It's probably all I'm going to do right now, so let me know if there's anything specific that you'd like to see in the microscope, plant related, plants that I have. I'm sure you know which ones I have. Just let me know.